All right, I'm delighted to say Sam Mulroy of Sam Mulroy Fitness is here. How are you? How's it going?
Yeah, how are you?
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
I presume this is like the busiest 3 weeks of your life, is it?
Yeah, it is pretty mental at this stage, but look, I suppose you just take it when it comes, and it's great to have it.
Yeah, so you started your business, I think, around 2020, is that right?
2020, it was actually our third birthday there, the 7th of January just gone, so
Right.
yeah, 3 years and 2 COVIDs. And
Did you get it in just before COVID started, or?
yeah, we just started that January, and then we were going pretty well, we were flying, and obviously COVID hit that March or whatever, so bit of a nightmare, but in hindsight maybe look, it made it, and I suppose if you can survive that, you might survive anything.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about when you left school, what did you decide to do? What was the path from going from not having a business to having a business?
Yeah, I suppose a bit of a, not the probably straightforward routine of leaving school and college, and when I left school I hadn't done a CEO, hated school at the time.
Pull in a little bit there to the mic, sorry, yeah.
And yeah, hated school and didn't fill in a CEO or anything, so I was building sheds I think at one stage after school, and Derek Crilly from DKIT ended up ringing me looking to play football more so than anything, so
so the lure of Sigerson.
The lure of Sigerson, yeah, came calling, so I suppose that was how I got into college in the first place, and done a year in Carlow and a couple of years in DKIT. And
what were you studying?
I was studying sport exercise.
Okay.
And then I done a master's last year in Jordanstown in sports management, obviously just to complement.
And did you find you liked it when you got into it?
No, I wasn't even loving it. I was just getting through it and getting it done was the case. And obviously the lure of playing football at college and stuff was probably to the forefront of what I was doing, or why I was there. And then I done a placement in third year in Sport Ireland with Graham Byrne, the S&C coach at Louth at the time. And that was how I suppose fell in love with fitness and helping people.
So the penny dropped at that point.
Penny dropped at that point, and Graham Byrne had a little chat with me, sat me down, and probably told me to cop on a little bit and try to sort my life out. So
right.
It was a case of biting the bullet and getting to it. Yeah,
it's funny how sometimes people having those conversations with you, they mean nothing to you because you're not ready for it. But when you're ready for it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean now.
Yeah, I suppose when you look at it, and even spoke about before Oisin McConville, having a little word as well, and when it comes from people like that, I suppose maybe they're looking right for you. And
so did somebody ring Oisin and say, here, listen, will you have a word with this guy, because you know?
Not that I know of. Look, maybe they did. I'd say a few people are giving out about me, but no, look, I was working on a building site, and it was probably easy for me. It was only down the road, but look, I think Oisin maybe knew that I'd more in me and I had different interests and stuff, and the same with Graham. So it's nice to get a chat from people like that, and maybe that can see potential in you and stuff. So I suppose I was going well in the college placement in Sport Ireland. So
right.
Yeah, he said, look, I'll give it a crack back home and see what happens. So that's where it started. Yeah,
it was funny, right? Because sometimes players going to college just to do a course to play Sigerson gets a bad rap, right? But I'm all in favour of it, because it actually gives you a few years to just
sort yourself out, and figure out what you want to do.
Exactly,
I suppose,
like find yourself,
Yeah, absolutely, deep down
about it. But like, how is any 16-year-old who is, or 17-year-old who's filling out the CAO supposed to know, I want to do this thing for the rest of my life and I'm going to do this, because that's what you're told.
Absolutely, yeah.
But actually it's bollocks.
Yeah,
it's just what you're going to do for the next couple of years.
Absolutely, yeah. And I suppose, look, sport was always an interest with football and all that crack, so that's how I fell into that, I suppose, and probably the easiest route at the time, and that's how I got in that line of work, I suppose.
It's also like traditionally everybody's like, oh, go and be a teacher, it's the perfect thing for GA, but actually I'm not sure it is anymore, particularly with the way the seasons are aligning. But actually working in the fitness industry is not a really bad thing at all if you want to be involved in elite GA. We see various people, TJ Reid famously, Aidan O'Mahony, there's loads of other people who have actually made a career in fitness, work very well. Andy Moore was just on this morning as well. Did you talk to any of them at all?
I spoke to Andy actually
Nice.
a couple of times and that, so the link there would be Tom Parsons, obviously through the GPA and stuff, so I spoke to Andy a good few times, and there's a few Shane Lyons that used to play from Anna, has been great to me, so yeah, there's definitely bouncing ideas off other people who've done it and have done it very well. So as you said, TJ is very successful and Andy's been very successful, and the like, so yeah, it's nice to bounce ideas off them, I suppose, and how they've managed playing into county football and running a business at the same time. So yeah, it's interesting to talk to those guys.
It's funny, Sam, like, I'd imagine that like the days are still long, you're talking 13-14 hour days in the gym, but it's different from construction. You're not going home completely wrecked. I guess you have some control over the toll it's having on your body, and you can kind of filter it into your own game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's tough at times, absolutely, especially when I started off first. I was on my own. It's great now I have two lads with me there that are helping me run the show, which is nice. But look, there's lots of early mornings and late evenings. You're starting first classes at 6 a.m, so you're up from 5, and it can be tough if you're coming home from training late that night, the night before, whatever. But look, as I said, it's great to have. I've got the business to a stage now where I can have a bit of help and afford to pay those lads to come in and give me a little bit of relief when I need it or whatever.
So here's the plug. Where is it? If anybody wants,
Honest advice, Sam Mulroy Fitness. Definitely check it out if they're interested. Yeah,
you're busy on Instagram giving them good advice too.
Yeah, absolutely. Flat out Instagram and blogging, I think they call it now.
How's the football season going for you so far? The glamour of the O'Byrne Cup, but it's actually started pretty well for you guys.
It started pretty well. I suppose 2 wins on the bounce. Last year I think it took us till our 5th game to win. So I suppose that monkey off the back already has been nice. A little bit of pressure off, I suppose, getting a win early. So for me, it's been, I was packing my bag Saturday night before heading to Kildare, and I was kind of thinking, what do I actually need here? I haven't played since October. I was carrying a few injuries and stuff, so had a few injections last year, and so just trying to get everything cleared up. So it was nice to, I suppose, go back and play Saturday there, which was great for the first time in a while.
Louth opted not to play the semi-final against Wexford. I know Wexford were probably quite keen to play it, but you have so many guys in Sigerson, it nearly makes sense, given that you're already into the semi-finals of the O'Byrne Cup, not to play.
Yeah, I suppose winning the last 2 matches took a little bit of pressure off and already through to the semi-final, and then look, it's probably just a madness time-wise and logistically to get lads out of work on the Wednesday. You're travelling down to Wexford, you're playing at 8 o'clock that night, you're probably not home till 1:30, 2 o'clock, and for me I'd have to be up and work at 6 a.m. the next morning. So for stuff like that, it just didn't make sense. And then obviously you have the other side of the lads playing Sigerson and stuff like that. So look, it just didn't make sense, and thankfully we're already through. It's just taking pressure off not having to play the match.
How are you playing yourself? How do you gauge whether or not you're playing well? What are your own kind of things that make you think, okay, I'm at it?
I probably wasn't at the weekend, as I said. It's been a couple of months, so I was a bit rusty the weekend. So look, I suppose for me it's just setting standards for myself. Turnovers, simple things like that get you into the game. Is your first touch good? I suppose a lot of people probably think of, can they score points or can they score goals, but I think when you chase those you probably get a little bit selfish, or the team doesn't come first then. So I think it's important to set standards that are helping the team. So for me it's chasing, do I have 3 turnovers?
Were you always like this, or is this part of being captain?
No, I think it was always like that. I suppose from an early age, maybe 18, 19, I probably was the other way in terms of always chasing, am I going to be the top scorer today or whatever like that. So no, it's from then, I suppose, a couple of years now, it's probably trying to chase other things, kind of get a mark in midfield or help get 3 or 4 turnovers or stuff like that. So I think it's important maybe to set standards that way in terms of what maybe other people are looking at. Yeah,
it's funny, we had David Tubridy on the show during the week, Sam, and like he was talking about the National League goal scoring or point scoring record he has, and maybe appreciating it more when he's retired. Like, is that something that you think down the line you'd like to keep racking up the points, because it will mean something to you one day?
Maybe one day, yeah. For David, it's absolutely incredible, and the stat is pretty impressive. So maybe one day, but at the minute, no, I haven't. I don't even know. I haven't checked it. Don't know what the tally is or anything. So no, look, maybe one day, and I suppose definitely is probably special for David now since he's hung up the boots.
Mickey Harte's had a serious impact with yourselves since he took over. I mean, a couple of promotions, and like Division 2 football, especially the chance to play against the Dubs this year is a real card on the stick.
Yeah, absolutely. We've put ourselves in a brilliant position, I suppose, over the last 2 years. I suppose we trained hard. We've put a lot of things in place outside of the training pitch, and even in terms of what we do, our centre of excellence, everything's improved and gone up a level. So it's been impressive what the lads have brought to it, and it's been absolutely incredible for me personally and the team to get to see what it's like to play at that high level and the standards that's expected of you from the likes of Mickey Harte and what they've done over the last number of years. So it's been a really brilliant journey so far, but look, I suppose this can only be the start of it. We don't want to go back down to Division 3 or 4 again, so it's about setting standards now and I suppose staying there and improving on it again.
We've obviously talked a lot on this show about the championship structures, but one of the knock-on impacts is that Division 2 of the league is going to be ridiculously competitive, and the prize is playing in Sam Mulroy. And the corresponding side of that is that if you go down, then Sam Mulroy is really, really difficult to get into. So all of a sudden these games are literally the be-all and end-all of the first part of the season, and then after that, whatever happens in Leinster happens, and then after that, the championship happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of games, which is brilliant. But yeah, it's going to be tough. There's a lot of big games in that Division 2. I think for everyone, it's going to be seriously competitive. You have Derry, Kildare, Dublin. Like, there's some massive teams in there that will obviously trying to be get out of division, and then for a lot of teams maybe it's trying to stay in that division because, as I said, it's going to be very, very tough to pick up points. But look, we'll give it a crack, and hopefully.
Is that like? What's that like? Because all of a sudden these games really, really, really matter. In a way that the league games always really mattered for teams, particularly in Division 4, because you were trying to get into 3, and then 3 is like, okay, these games really matter because you're trying to get into 2, and it's but now it's like proper championship fever to the league, which is kind of what we always wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mickey Harte actually spoke about that during the week, saying that the league is like a championship now. I suppose over the last number of years it's massively important for us to get out of divisions and climb up the ladder, but now it's even more important, as you said, to be in that Sam Mulroy is going to be massive for us as a county, to improve. So yeah, there's a lot of pressure on those games, I suppose. So
do you feel, Sam, is there a level of disrespect afforded to counties like Louth? Sometimes Louth in past few years have been lumped into the so-called weaker counties bracket, which in many ways is a backslap to those counties, because clearly out of nowhere you can come and win a Division 4, win a Division 3 title, and all of a sudden you're mixing it with the big guys. So is there sometimes a level of disrespect afforded to some of the counties, especially in Leinster? Maybe the counties outside Dublin and Kildare maybe don't get the attention that maybe they deserve?
I suppose so, look, but at the end of the day, maybe they're right. I suppose we haven't done anything to warrant been called a big county, or same with, like, maybe outside Dublin no one's won Leinster in the last 10, 12 odd years, so you can't be claiming to be a big county, I suppose. So it's up to us and the other counties in Leinster to, I suppose, raise the standards. I know we spoke about it before, trying to chase down Dublin and stuff, so I suppose it's up to us, and you can't whinge about it or complain about being called a weaker county if you're not mixing it with the big boys. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we can do it this year.
There's something nice about that, even having silverware, not talking about reflecting on the end of a career, but when you win a Division 3 title in Croke Park with your county, that must mean so much, especially to people in Louth, because I know they love their football, and clearly it's led to different things as well. I mean, Louth are creating a culture, they've got a centre of excellence and pitch that they're trying to develop as well, so there's a lot of things going on in Louth football, all of them positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, as you said, it was absolutely massive, I think, for Louth to go to Croke Park last year and pick up a win. I was there in, I think, 2019 when we were bet by Tipperary in the final in Division 3, so I suppose last year it was nice to be back there and get to walk up the steps of the Hogan stand and stuff like that's absolutely special and stuff you dream of. I know it's maybe for other people it's only a Division 3 title, but as you said, to create a culture of actually going to Croke Park and winning matches is so important. So yeah, last year was a massive step for Louth, and as you said, look, it builds into everything that we're trying to do outside the training pitch, as I said, the new stadium coming and stuff like that. So as you said, Louth people love football, and for them to get to go to Croke Park last year and watch us play good football and win a match and get to pick up a trophy was excellent, I think. Yeah.
Well, did that culture, is that a change, do you think, that you've noticed since you've come into the senior setup? Are you part of that change in a way?
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone has a role to play in it. I suppose it's massively changed since Mickey Harte's come in, and just in terms of everyone maybe pushing in the one direction. I think, look, sometimes maybe some managers didn't get what they asked for, and maybe there was no money there, or X, Y and Z, I don't know. Look, that's probably out of my jurisdiction, but look, I think since Mickey Harte's come in and he's raised the standard and asked questions of Loud, do you want to go there? He is happy being in 3 or 4.
You have confidence in your own ability, right? And that's been clear since you came through to the senior team, but that's great, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody is challenging you then to back that up, then you then have to not just be looking for your 9 points in the game. You actually have to be looking to be the change that reflects well on the team.
Yeah.
And that's the bit I think that might be different from previous iterations, where a great player can come through and actually look after themselves. You know, you can just mind yourself if you want to, and be. But actually, Mickey coming in is like, well, what are you going to do for everybody else here, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's that like?
It's excellent. Look, it's put me in a position to try to be better, to try and make Loud better, and it's absolutely incredible that he's given me that responsibility, I suppose, and ask questions of me. He obviously maybe sees something in what I can do or what the Loud team can do. So I don't think he'd ask us to do those things if he didn't think we could. So it's been.
And then you start to see the knock-on impact of the results.
Yeah, look, it's been special, and I suppose last year we probably had a poor start to the league, and next minute you've lost a match and you've drawn a match, and the pressure's seriously on then. So for us to turn it around showed serious character, and there's a lot of leaders in that squad there now that have really stepped up when asked. So no, it's been a serious period, I suppose, for Loud over last year.
Funny, I was watching Roy Keane on Tommy Tierney the other night, and he was talking about leadership and captaincy, and he was referencing the fact that there were so many leaders on that Manchester United team throughout the 90s. But what sort of a captain are you? Like, when you got that text or call to be the captain of your county, are you vocal in the dressing room? Is it more of a lead by example kind of thing on the pitch, or how do you approach that role?
I actually don't know. I don't know what the lads would say about me, or it's funny, like I do talk in the dressing room when I feel like something needs to be said, or I try to demand stuff from players that I know can give more, but then again, it is about setting your own standards and looking after yourself and making sure you're training well, or being early. How do you talk to people? Are you saying thanks and please when you're talking to the kit man? Are you picking up the cones after training? I think little things like that make a massive difference, and how people perceive the Louth team going forward is going to be important. So yeah, look, things like that are massively important to me, and then again, it's about delivering on the pitch, most importantly. If I can go out and play well and do my job, I think that's probably the most important.
The importance of the provincial championships, or relative loss in I guess interest in them over recent years, has led to some interesting discussions around the calendar. But as a Louth player, do you harbour ambitions of winning realistically the Leinster Championship? How do you see it? I know Louth, of course, won the Leinster Championship in 2010. We'll not really talk about that. Maybe the record books don't say, maybe say otherwise. But is that something that you can genuinely, I guess, look towards in the next 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it might be?
Yeah, look, I think we have to. For me, I don't want to play for the next 7, 8, 9 years and not be in a provincial final or not have a provincial title when I finish. For me, so it's definitely a target of mine, a goal of mine to win one. So yeah, it's just about making that happen. It's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be easier. I'm not saying it's going to happen this year or next year. But look, I think it's putting Louth in a position that they can win one. And look, if it means that I retire without one, but we've put my Louth team and this Louth team at the minute have put Louth in a position to maybe go in a few years after that. I think we've played our part in that. So look, it'll be massively important to do that, and I think if we do win one, it'd be unbelievable. I suppose a little bit of redemption for 2010 maybe. Yeah.
Jeez, there'll be some party in Louth if that does happen.
Sam, give us some good advice for people who are struggling at the moment with a little bit of motivation in January.
Yeah, we've a few of those. I was speaking to a few in the gym last night. Trying to get back into the routine has been tough, and I think maybe the split in the week last week with the bank holiday and people were lax getting back into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there was a few of those. So look, I suppose for us at the minute, it's focusing on one thing at a time. So telling our members, look, chase one thing. If that means getting back into the gym 2, 3 times a week, focus on that. Don't be trying to change 100 things at once. I think everyone's probably trying to focus on diet and nutrition and steps and what weights am I lifting, and chasing too many things instead of just chasing one, get back into the routine. And once you start enjoying it again, I think it's massively important and helpful.
What do you say to people who are afraid of the gym culture? Do you know, the mirrors, the grunts, the testosterone flowing around the room? Like some people, I guess, think that is the idea of what a gym is, or maybe is supposed to be, when in fact the reality is probably a lot different. Yeah,
absolutely. Look, and for us, my gym is a private training facility. We don't have open people just coming in the whole time. There's no mirrors in the gym, and we chase a no egos kind of culture. So for us, it's been massively important to have that community feel in our gym. So people come in, they're friends, they talk before class, they go for coffee together. Mm-hmm. We've tried to create that so that it's not that intimidating feel to our gym, and for me that's so important. Because
where did you get that idea?
I don't really know. I think we've had a few kind of asks for the mirrors and stuff, and I just think it's, for me, I think to succeed in what I'm trying to do with the business, it's been massively important. The community, in a way, the exercise is secondary.
Or pre-COVID, when you set it up, was it always going to be like that, or did COVID?
No, I think at the time, funnily at the time, it was probably to get through college.
Right.
A little bit of money, something I enjoyed, and that's what it was. But then look, as I went down the line and I suppose talked to the likes of Andy Moore and X, Y and Z, and then I realised that look, maybe the exercise isn't as important as people think it is. And do they come for the exercise, the class, or do they come to chat to their friends and have a social life? And look, we do members events and we go away, we have a night out the odd time and stuff like that. I think that's massively important, and I think if you can find a gym that does that for you and you actually enjoy going to, and you're not sitting down the evening going, oh, I can't believe I have to go to the gym now.
Yeah.
Or to actually make it a little bit of a habit that
it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, I suppose. Yeah. So that's what we tried to create in my gym. So yeah, no, it's worked well, I think, at the minute. So we're trying to drive that massively.
What do you make of Lee Keegan hanging up the boots? Bit of a sad day for Mayo supporters.
Sad day for Mayo, sad day for GAA. I think, what a hell of a footballer. He's been absolutely incredible, colossal for Mayo over the last number of years. He's always showed up when they need him. I was reading a stat, I think you guys had up this morning, about his goals and points scored over the last number of years in big games has been incredible. So yeah, sad day for GAA and definitely Mayo fans.
Yeah, big game player.
Big game player.
Great for the half forward of the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we wish you the very best of luck with the season. This is going to be a bear pit of a league campaign, so whatever happens, best of luck with it.
Thank you.
Continued success with the business.
Cheers, thank you.
So if anybody wants any classes, have you any availability?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll squeeze them in.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. Sam Mulroy, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much.